All right, here we open deuces from the hijack. Probably not opening twos from all positions, but I think from the hijack with this player sitting out, it's probably opening twos from every position except front of the gun. This board's actually good for our under the gun open range, right? We have all the overpairs. We do have a short stack that flatted our open from the cutoff. So he's got a lot of middling pocket pairs. Oh, sorry. He's got some middling pocket pairs. He's got some broadways. He's got some suited connectors. He's pretty wide here, but he is capped. On this board, yeah, I think I'm going to be betting quite often. I think I might actually be choosing a larger size usually on this board here. I think I'm doing pretty well against his continue range here. My ranges at least. And then with twos, like I benefit a ton from protection. And I think he's meant to defend pretty liberally to this size. And I'm not sure that he, the shorter stack is going to be, I imagine he's probably going to be playing sort of fit or fold. So I don't imagine he's going to be meeting his defense frequency. Team 9 suited. Okay. All right, I open ace 10 suited from the small blind. I should be playing a check range or bet range strategy from the small blind. I think on this board, this would be a board that I'm just checking range on. Okay, and I do check range. And it gets checked behind. Okay, this card is better for my opening range from the small blind. However, I do have showdown value here. I do probably get some protection from betting. I guess he's never folding a hand like Queen Jack or two diamonds. So I don't actually gain that much protection from betting here, but I think I do get value from betting here. I mean, you know, I don't think I get value from betting here either. I think the king kind of forces him to fold all of his worse hands. There's always a chance he continues. I mean, I guess, yeah, I get some value from draws, right? I'm charging his draws by betting here. Okay, I do like to check. Actually, don't mind that check. Okay, and he leads, or he bets out about 3/4 pot. Yeah, I need 30% pot entitlement. I think after I check twice, like he could be betting super wide here. He could be betting 10x, 7s, 8s, straight draws, flush draws. So I like to continue here. Okay, the jack of diamonds comes, completes the flush draw. He was betting with a hand like Queen Jack. He improves here, but I don't think he would continue betting with a hand like Queen Jack. I think he would check behind. So when he bets here, he's basically just wrapping a king or a flush, right? And I'm not sure if you just bet the flush draw on the flop. Like, so I'm leaning towards him being just pretty king heavy here. Not really sure what kind of bluffs he might have here. Hands that don't bet the flop, but then decide to start bluffing the turn. Would be a hand like Queen Jack. Queen Jack might also just, yeah, Queen Jack would bet the turn and Queen Jack improves. Yeah, I think he's under bluffing here. If I fold. Oh, wow, yeah, he's got a monster. There's not many bluffs you can have on that run out. Okay, I open ace jacks off. Okay, this board's a rainbow board, which is nice, but it is a bit middling. Like it does connect big blinds range quite a bit. He has a lot of hands that he can continue with on this board. He makes a lot of pairs, makes a lot of straight draws, things like that. when he checks to me, I should be betting sort of selectively here on this flop. I do have 2 overs, backdoor gut shot, or I'm sorry, geez, backdoor straight draw, as well as block a couple of the backdoor flush draws. So I think I'm actually perfectly happy making a bet on this flop. But I do recognize that this flop is pretty good for big blinds calling range. I guess it's the small blinds calling range. Okay, yeah, I don't mind checking either. The 8 is a card that's maybe slightly better for villain's range here, but if he checks again, I think like I'm probably good with ace high. He could have a hand like pocket 6s, pocket 5s. They're probably not folding to a bet, but I think I'm actually okay to start betting. Get him to fold like some equity. I guess like if he folds queen high, am I really benefiting? Like, yeah, if he folds queen 10, like I'm pretty happy with that result. So yeah, I think I should. I like to start betting here. I don't. Okay. He goes ahead and bets the river after checking twice on the deuce river. Yeah, I just don't see him turning a pocket pair into a bluff here. Or value betting with anything that he's checked twice with. So unless he has like pocket 2s, I actually think I'm still winning. So I actually don't mind the call. Yeah, that makes sense. Ace king on the button, called by the small blind. Ace jack 8. This is a board we're gonna have tons of bets on. Big blind called, sorry. Gonna have tons of bets. Ace king is certainly a bet. Let's talk about sizing here. On ace jack 8, rainbow. We don't really need to choose a large sizing on this board. We certainly can. We have all the best aces. We have jacks. We have aces. I guess he has 8s, but so do we. So we have all the sets. He has few sets. We have all like the 2 pairs. He maybe, I think he maybe has ace jack here. So we have all the 2 pairs. We have all the best aces. We have aces. We have all the sets. And then we have, of course, have like a bunch of gut shots. But so yeah, I think going about 2/3 pot seems pretty reasonable. Can he continues? What types of hands would he be continuing with here? Jack X for sure, maybe like a worse ace. I'd expect him to be check raising sets. And like if he has a set of 8s, I'd expect him to check raise. He might be check raising hand like Jack 8 as well. He could definitely be continuing with a hand like 9-10, Jack 10, Queen Jack, and then like some bad aces. And he's maybe continuing some 8x, 8-9, maybe with 8-9. Okay, the 7's a card that's better for him in this situation. I mean, we have 9-10 here as well, but so we'll definitely be slowing down a little bit. We can't just continue to just a barrel, but I think with ace king here, like it's a very clear value bet, and we can't get crazy on the size, but I think we can go with like a 2/3 pot size bet. It's approximately, we went for a little bit larger than that. Okay, we get called. So now he's really filtering his range here. At this point, I think he's got maybe like, at worst, probably like a Jack 10, Jack 10, Jack 9 type hands where he picks up a gut shot with his pair. He could still have like ace X, potentially have ace 8, ace 7. I'd expect to see a raise from one of those hands, especially here on the turn. And he could definitely have a hand like 9-10, but I would expect him to raise 9-10 here on the turn as well. So I think we're still in decent shape, but I guess 7-8 also makes 2 pair here. We're still in decent shape, but we aren't super thrilled. Okay, and then the 9 lands on the river, and he checks it over to us. I don't think he's really ever checking a 10. Of course he might be. Like, so yeah, there's a small chance he's checking a 10 here. But like almost all of his hands that don't have a 10 improve on the 9, right? So if he did have a hand like Jack 9, 8-9, 9-10, like that's just a great card for him. So I guess like betting would only really get value from like a weak ace maybe, and I don't even know if a weak ace is calling on this crazy board. So I think I like checking back here. Okay, and he's got a weak ace. Yeah, I don't know if I get much value from that. And I just think like hands that are calling me down here just have me beat 2 pair hands. So I open ace-10 off from the cutoff and get called in 2 spots from both blinds. Jack 9, 4, 2 clubs. Oops. This is a board that's pretty good for the villain's ranges here. So I need to be betting pretty selectively. I do have the ace of clubs, which is a great card to have here. And I have a 10, which is also a pretty good card to have here. So if I am going to be betting this flop, I think I would like to have a bit more equity than just 2 backdoors. But they're both backdoors to the nuts. So I don't really hate my bet here. Okay, when I get called, I expect to be getting called. Like I expect to have some Jack X, Queen Jack, Jack 10, maybe some 9X, like 9-10, flush draws, and then some straight draws like Queen 10 and 8-10, hands like that. He checks it over to me. Still leaning towards him having a hand like Jack X or 9X or a flush draw. He's less likely to have a flush draw because I'm blocking like a ton of his flush draws with my ace of clubs. But this turn is super blank. So it doesn't really change much about the flop situation. So when he calls the flop, he's filtered his range quite a bit, and I'm sort of filtered, but not a ton. So I do like sort of just checking, giving up, and then the river is also a complete brick. So we'll see what he does here. Okay, he just leads pot. Wow, this is interesting. So I guess I could see him leading pot here with a hand like, oh, Queen 10. Like what hands is he just checking twice and then just potting? I guess maybe he could have a hand like pocket 4s that he was planning on check raising the turn. But honestly, like, see, having the 10 and the ace of clubs just sucks because we just have like, we're just blocking a lot of his bluffs. We're blocking so many bluffs. So I like the fold here, but like, I'm not really sure what he's repping. I guess like pocket 4s really. I don't know if he's just leading out like Queen Jack right now for that sizing. Yeah, pocket 9s. Good fold. Okay, I open Jack 9 and I just get flatted from the shorter stack in the small blind here. Flop a flush draw. Checks to me. I'm probably just betting a ton on this board. Yeah, betting with super high frequency on this board. small size for sure. And of course, flush draw is going to make the cuts. Okay, and I get check raised, which is really interesting. So what types of hands he be check raising me here with potentially? Some pocket pairs, some heart draws, some 5x, 5-6, 5-6 suited, I guess. Maybe a hand like ace 10, but I don't know. He didn't 3-bet pre, right? So like, he doesn't really have. Maybe, oh, he could definitely have like ace 4, ace deuce. So he could be doing this for sure with a 2-pair hand, but it's a very tiny size, and I have a flush draw, so I'm definitely not folding. And I make my flush here on the turn, and he elects to go with a pot-sized bet on the turn once I make my flush. Wow, this is crazy, right? So he's actually kind of repping the flush, which is interesting. I guess maybe he has me on an ace, but I'm definitely not folding here. I don't really see a reason to raise. Like, I guess he could have the ace of hearts, put it in. Like, I guess raising. I think just raising makes him fold all his bluffs that he might continue with on the river. So yeah, I like calling. Because any hand that he's sort of going to call it off with here, he'll probably call it off on the river. Unless there's like just a scare card on the river. Okay, and the ace, he just jams. I mean, at this point, I guess he's just got flushes and then like ace deuce and ace 4. It's really the only thing that really makes sense to me. And I have the third nut flush. It's pretty dicey. I mean, not for this price, right? Like, I don't think I'm ever folding a flush here, but I think he's really just got flushes. I guess you could have a hand like ace 10. Ace jack. Right. I like to squeeze tens under the gun open and a cutoff flat, small short stack. My ideal situation here. My ideal situation here is the under the gun opener folds and the shorter stack calls. Okay, so we see they both call. So under the gun is kind of narrowed his range here to ideally, I mean, like he should only have like some big aces and some decent pocket pairs. Really just some big aces at this point when he just flats. Okay, this is a board that is great for us. Like great for us. It's really hard for them to have strong hands on this board. So I definitely like a bet here. Okay. So go with about a fourth pot. Seems pretty small, but I guess we're multi-way and the shorter stack could always just jam on top. Okay, but I do get called. So I do get called here. Like he's getting the right price with even a hand like ace king, especially if he has a club. Maybe even ace queen with the gut shot, especially if he has a club. So I think he's still weighted a lot towards some bigger aces and some broadways. So I think he's maybe got some flush draws, some overs, and then potentially he has like jacks. But I think it's more like he has like 7s, 8s, 9s. The king is a pretty good card for him. Like I said, he does have a bunch of ace king here, especially if he has a club, king, queen of clubs, etc. So I do like checking over to him when the king comes. When he checks back, I think it's very unlikely he has a king. So I think we're still ahead, unless he has a hand like jacks. Like I think jacks is like the only hand that we're losing to at this point in the hand. Okay, and another king comes, so I think we're okay to value bet here. I think I like maybe like a third pot size bet. Try to get some value from like 7s, 8s, 9s. He's got some flush draws and he's got some ace highs. Probably like, how often are those hands betting when check two? I'm trying to decide like if I like check calling better here or just leading for like a third pot. I think I like leading for like a third pot. I'm just hoping he get called by 6s, 7s, 8s, 9s. Okay, so I do check, which I actually don't hate checking either. And he checks back, so I expect to be good here quite often, unless he has exactly jacks. It'd be pretty nitty for him to have jacks here. So I'm expecting to have ace X of clubs, ace queen with a club, or 6s, 7s, 8s, 9s. Okay, ace queen with diamonds, sure, makes sense. Open ace 3 suited from the small blind. Okay, this is a hand where I should be just betting range. I do also have a backdoor draw to the nuts, but that's really all I have going for me. But I like range betting here for like a buck. Okay, I'd go really small. Very small. I wonder what he folded. Similar hand. Okay. Wait, can I just see their hands by clicking on them? Fuck. All right, I open button, get called from the small blind. Checks to me. This is a board where I'm gonna be betting quite often, probably usually at the smaller size. Yeah. I do elect for a larger size here. I think it's just because I made 2 pair. It's probably prefer larger sizing if I had like 9-7. I unblock the ace. But I guess in this case, like I unblock the 9, so, and I don't have hearts. So I don't necessarily hate the sizing here. And he just folds. All right, I'm gonna pause this.